As we get into working with Bootstrap, I want you to be aware of the great documentation available on the getbootstrap.com website. And when you use this, be sure that you are looking at getbootstrap.com docs 5.3 because this is the version that we're working on. It's the most recent version at this point in time. When you get into these documentation, you're going to find a lot of good information, some of it not related to the work that we are doing, but some of it very much related. And so as we get into talking about layout with Bootstrap, the rows and columns, this is where you can get a lot of extra help. So I recommend taking a look at layout here, and then the breakpoints is going to help you to understand the different sizes. When we talk about responsive websites, and mobile first is often a term you'll hear, where we start out by designing for the smallest, the phone, and then we add classes as needed to allow for multiple columns on a wider device. So this can kind of make you aware of some of the widths that correspond to the Bootstrap sizes. And as you're looking at these examples of code, you'll see this copy to clipboard. You can just click on that. It will copy it in your clipboard, and you can paste it somewhere else if you just want to try it out. But even more interesting is as you move down the list here. So when we're looking at containers, we have these same kind of copy to clipboard. When we get into the grid system, that's where we're using the rows and columns. We get examples, we get sample code, but then we also get this. So this little lightning bolt here, if we click on this, it's going to open up an online code sandbox called Stackblitz. And so it'll actually have the code and it will render what's in the code. So these online sandboxes are really handy, kind of like Replit. But once you have one of these, you can change the code, and you'll see that it changes here. So it's a really good way to quickly experiment with what you're reading about in the documentation. So I highly recommend looking at these and going ahead and opening them up in Stackblitz, playing around with them. What's the effect of changing the size of gutters, for example? Because it's no setup, really just clicking on Edit Stackblitz, and you can go ahead and start trying it out.